There was a little coverage on this, but I'm surprised at how little coverage, if that makes sense. Now, this has been going on for a few years now. I've spoken a little bit about it, but today was the day. At the time of me recording this video, it is December 2nd. Timothy Herrington Jr. was finally sentenced to 40 years in prison for the murder of Jimmie J. Lee. Now, I know a lot of you are not aware about this case, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory just to get you up to speed to where we are today. I'm glad a national news outlet picked this up because it is very serious, and I don't know, I just think the sentencing was a little light for this case. CBS News exclusively reported a man pled guilty on Monday to second-degree murder and other charges in the killing of a University of Mississippi graduate who was prominent in the LGBTQ community. Sheldon Timothy Herrington Jr. entered the plea as he faced a second trial over the death of Jimmie J. Lee, who disappeared from Oxford, Mississippi in July of 2022 and was later found dead. Herrington was arrested 2 weeks after Lee vanished and later charged with capital murder. He had previously pled not guilty to the murder charge, CBS affiliate WREG reported. The state has said in court that they did not intend to seek the death penalty in this case, according to the news station. A judge declared a mistrial last year when jurors failed to reach a verdict after more than 9.5 hours of deliberation. They have been instructed to find Herrington guilty of either capital murder, first-degree murder, second-degree murder, or manslaughter by culpable negligence, or find him not guilty, WREG reported at the time. Jimmie J. Lee's body had not been found when Herrington's first trial took place, although a judge had declared him dead. But in February of this year, deer hunters stumbled upon Lee's skeletal remains in a wooded area, according to Mississippi Today. During the first trial, prosecutors claim Herrington, who was not openly gay, killed Lee after the two had a sexual encounter. Campus cameras showed Lee leaving his apartment shortly before 4 a.m. the day he disappeared. He returned 40 minutes later before leaving again, just before 6 a.m. Prosecutors alleged Lee had been at Herrington's apartment, and that when Lee had left Herrington's apartment, he was upset. Herrington, they said, invited Lee back and searched. How long does it take to strangle someone online before Lee arrived? The final text message from Lee's phone was sent to a social media account belonging to Herrington at 6:03 a.m. from a spot near Herrington's apartment, law enforcement testified. Accounts belonging to Herrington and Lee had previously exchanged sexual explicit messages, they said. Herrington was later captured by surveillance video jogging out of the parking lot where Lee's car was found. He was also seen picking up a shovel and wheelbarrow at his parents' house, authorities said. Herrington is from Grenada, Mississippi, about 52 miles southwest of Oxford. Lee's body was found in the neighboring Carroll County. Both Herrington and Lee had graduated from the University of Mississippi. Lee had been pursuing a master's degree. He was known for his creative expression through fashion and makeup, and often performed in drag shows in Oxford, according to a support group called Justice for J. Lee. Herrington was sentenced on Tuesday, December 2nd. Timothy Herrington was sentenced to 40 years in prison for Jimmie J. Lee's murder. A judge sentenced Timothy Herrington to 40 years in prison after he pled guilty to the murder of Ole Miss student Jimmie J. Lee. Following that 40-year sentence, Herrington will serve 10 years of supervised release, including 5 years of supervised probation and 5 years of unsupervised probation. Herrington pled guilty to second-degree murder and body tampering on Monday, entering a last-minute guilty plea as attorneys were beginning the process of selecting a jury to hear his retrial. The first trial in December of 2024, like we discussed earlier, ended in an 11-1 hung jury. Prosecutors moved forward with that trial despite not having Lee's body. Fast forward to today where there is a body. Now the autopsy results, they couldn't determine a cause of death because they were skeletal remains. So they did state that, but let me tell you something. You could go look up this trial, this case, and you could go hear it for yourself. Okay, before there was even a body, in my opinion, there was so much evidence, it was slapping you in the face. The judge made a statement where he said, I might be stating too much, but I'm going to say it anyway. This case was thoroughly investigated. I mean, the heaviest investigation I've ever seen in my 35 years of doing this. But I will say this. This case got national coverage, and it made Mississippi look real bad. So I just want to say Mississippi got it right this time. Really? You think this state got it right this time by not putting a murderer in prison for the rest of his life? He took somebody's life. This is the problem, okay? This is the problem with the justice system, in my opinion. There is no justice. These people who get out here and unalive people, he took this person's life. Part of the 10 Commandments is thou shalt not murder. I mean, hello. The judge then told him, you have a second chance at life. Mr. J. Lee don't have that. Why are you giving him a second chance at life if he took somebody's life? It's just, let me tell you something, okay? I battle with PTSD. I was diagnosed with that as a result of my best friend being kidnapped and murdered. The justice is never there, okay? Nothing can justify it. The person who took my best friend's life has since been executed. But that still don't take away that pain, and it don't take away the PTSD. The anxiety, the stress, the effects of PTSD, that fight or flight mode, that anger. I mean, it's there. It's there. It's real. And it's going to be there, and it's going to be real forever. So in reality, when you take somebody's life, it's not just one person. You took a whole lot of people's lives. You really did. Because if their loved ones once had good mental health, that went straight down the drain when you took their loved one's life. I can tell you right now. Firsthand from experience. If you haven't looked up this case, if you got a minute, or if you're ever looking for something to watch, go look it up. It's very interesting. Very interesting. And I want to know your thoughts and opinions, especially on the sentencing being 40 years. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. I will be incorporating more videos and more topics of things I'm watching and into, so I hope you enjoy. I love you for watching. I'll see you in my next video or the comments below.